Hey, what's going on, guys? It's CJ here, back with another movie review, and this time I'm reviewing Bill and Ted Face the Music. Um, the Bill and Ted franchise is an interesting movie film series to me because it reminds me a lot of the Wayne's World movies in that they're silly movies that aren't really there's nothing deep and profound in terms of a message there. They're just fun and silly films that are just out to make you laugh and feel good, you know. And I miss and I'm it's not to say that those movies don't exist nowadays, but it's just like I miss the simplicity of those kind of films. And what I appreciate about Bill and Ted Face the Music is that it's a fine film that stays its lane and it knows what lane it's in and it just works. Um like when you look at Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, it's a time travel movie where Bill and Ted are, they're going through time and they're trying to get all these historical figures to pass their history test and stuff, right? And then you get the sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And when you hear about the name, when you hear about a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, your first thought is, oh, they're going to regurgitate the same thing again, like in the first movie and stuff. Because Back to the Future 2 did it to a degree. Even though we enjoy Back to the Future 2, it still kind of regurgitates certain aspects of the first movie to a degree. But with Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, they went in a different direction. Bill and Ted get killed. They're in hell. They got to face death in order to get back to, life and stuff. They got to face off against robotic clones of themselves. It's a silly and wacky movie, and yet it's funny with all the ridiculous stuff that they do. It's very ambitious, and it just works for that time period. And granted, that's 1991 it came out. And it's a silly movie, and yet you can't help but laugh. And here we are 29 years later, and we're at Bill and Ted Face the Music, and it carries on that key aspect of what made those first two movies work, in that it knows what it is. It's a silly movie, and Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter still carry the Bill and Ted mannerisms and the characteristics of them. And it really felt like a movie that took place years after the last movie without missing a beat, you know. And I think the enjoyable aspect of it is seeing how that translates to other people because, um, we see Ted's dad, he's back. The actor that played Ted's dad, he's back. Missy's back. Death is back. We see that Rufus has a daughter, you know, and she's the one that's helping out Bill and Ted. We got Thea and Billy, they're Bill and Ted's kids and stuff. And what's interesting is that they again have the mannerisms of Bill and Ted, like that's their kids straight up, like it ain't even a question about it. But what makes this the whole general premise of this film is that Bill and Ted, it's been 29 years since the last film, and if you remember at the end of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey during the credits, they're showing all the things that Bill and Ted did after the end of that the little concert that they did, what they did to unite the world. They play at the Grand Canyon, they're doing all these things that saves the world and stuff. And what we find out in this movie is that Bill and Ted tried to do those same things and it didn't exactly work out the way it did. So pretty much Bill and Ted have to course correct that and find this specific music that's going to do that, because over the 29 years that they've been trying to do it over the course of their lives, they didn't quite capture that song that was going to unite the world. So they have to come up with a song by a specific time in order to, save the world, save the universe and stuff, and time itself. Meanwhile, their kids want to help their fathers out and stuff, so they have their own little subplot with them kind of doing a little bit what Bill and Ted did in the first movie with them time traveling and stuff a little bit. And it's funny because here you have two white chicks who are going back in time and they're picking up people like Louis Armstrong. They literally go back to 1920s to Louis Armstrong and stuff, watching his band play. And then they go back to talk to Jimi Hendrix. They get Mozart. They even get what's the face? Ling Loon. They get all these musical artists and stuff like that. And it's like there's no messaging in it. It's just these girls are trying to help their fathers out, and that's it. There might be some people be like, "Wow, these two girls trying to get the Louis Armstrong," but you don't don't think too much on it. It's just these are innocent teenagers. They are just trying to help their fathers out, and it just works. And I think that's to the advantage of this movie because again, it's not trying to tell anything deep and profound. It's just telling a simple story, throwing in some comedic aspects into it, and it just works across the board. Even to the degree that we get freaking William Sadler back as Death, and he's just as funny as he was in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and stuff. Um, and like there's a sense of newness to the film too in terms of like the visuals and stuff. The special effects are fine for what they are and stuff. It's nothing groundbreaking and stuff, but it works for what the movie is doing and stuff. Most people might look at this like, at least for me, I remember when they announced this and stuff. In the back of my head, you see something like Bill and Ted Face the Music, a sequel to the Bill and Ted films and stuff. You think direct to DVD or that, that's the first thing you get. And I appreciate the fact that Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, they kind of were like, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to at least make sure that the script is right and it fits into that Bill and Ted aesthetic. And this movie fits into that Bill and Ted aesthetic. And I'm really appreciative that they did that. Like I said, the movie overall is fine. It's a lot of chuckle-worthy moments. It's not laugh out loud, which I'm going to be real. Like, I can at least admit that Bill and Ted was never like, it was funny. It had moments where you'll laugh your ass off. I think more than anything, I laugh, at least in this movie, I laugh probably way more at death, William Sadler's death, because the comedic timing and everything about him is just hilarious and stuff. But everything else in the movie is funny to a degree. And I think also it's just very lighthearted, which again, it fits the Bill and Ted motif. It's not trying to be anything deep and profound. It's just, it knows what it is and stuff. So, the visuals are good. Cinematography is fine. Like I said, it does what it does. It's more so funny seeing Bill and Ted during their whole journey of trying to find the music that they're trying to play. They're going through different time periods and seeing different versions of themselves that they interact with and stuff. And it makes for some very funny cameo moments in the film from other musicians and artists that you and stuff. And I think that works again for this film series and such. So more than anything else, like I said, Bill and Ted Face the Music, fine movie. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's definitely something that I can at least say it's worthy next to the other Bill and Ted movies. So if you can, definitely check it out. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Fine film. Definitely check it out. And yeah, that's it. I don't really have much else to say as such. So if anything else, take it easy. 7 out of 10. Definitely go see Bill and Ted Face the Music. Peace out, y'all.